Hello guys, in this video I'm going to show you how you can set up a very simple JUnit test for your Java program. Now what is JUnit? JUnit is a unit testing framework for Java programming language, and it has been important in development of test-driven development process. So using JUnit you can set up a test for your program so that if your program is really large and you don't have the time to test each and every function manually, JUnit can be used for these kind of test, or JUnit test can be used for nightly test, so that you can write your code in the day and you can run these JUnit in the night, so that you can check if your program is correctly working with other classes or not. So let's create a simple JUnit test. First of all, we will create a simple project for Java, and then we will create JUnit uh, test cases for this project. So go to Files, New, and Java project, and first of all we will create our new Java project, and I will name it as my class, for example. Okay, and make sure this option in project layout, use project folder as root for sources and class files, is selected. Click next and click finish. So this will create a simple project for us, and in here we are going to create a package first. So just right click your project and click new package, and this package we will name it as, for example, programming knowledge. Okay, click finish, and inside this package we will create a class. So create new class, and this class name we will name it as my JUnit class. Okay, and click finish. So this will create a class for us, and in here we can write our program, right? So let's create some simple functions inside this class. For example, public int add. So we are going to add two numbers, int a, int b, and it's just going to return the addition of a plus b. Okay, and let's create one more function, and that's going to give us the concatenation of two strings. So these are very simple functions. The purpose of this video is not not to show how to write functions or other things, but how to set up a simple JUnit test on our functions. Okay, so now we have created a simple class and some functions inside our class, and now let's set up some JUnit test on these functions. So what you can do is you can just go to your project and go to new, and in here you will be able to see a section called JUnit test case, and these cases you can define multiple cases for multiple functions. Okay, and these test cases combine together to make a suite, so you can also create a suite for your test cases. So just first of all we will create this JUnit test case for us, and you can give the name to the test case, and in here you can choose which JUnit library you want to use, new JUnit 3 test or new JUnit 4 test. We are going to leave it as default, which is JUnit 4 for now, and we name our test as my class test. Okay, or let's precisely name our test as add test, because we are going to use this for this function for adding two integers. Okay, so now what we can do here is click finish, and it's going to ask which library you want to use, and it's going to prompt us that JUnit 4 is not on built-in part. Do you want to add it? Yes, we want to add it. And now we have created a simple test case for us, JUnit test case. And this test, you can change the name of this test as add test, for example, because we are going to test the add function here. And in here you can call your class. So we have created this class, right? JUnit test class. Okay, and in here we have two functions. So we are going to test first function for now, right? So in this add test, we will define our class, and we will name it as JUnit, for example, is equal to new my JUnit test class, and then we can use this to call the add function inside our JUnit class, my JUnit class, right? So we are expecting int as a result is equal to JUnit dot add. Okay, and in here let's pass some numbers, 100 and 200. Okay, now this result will be the summation of these two, because we are adding these two numbers using this function. So we can just check for the equality using assert equal. Okay, and the first argument of this assert equal function takes the value you are expecting, for example 300, because we know that the addition of 100 and 200 is 300, and then we will pass the result of the function which is returned by add function, right? So this is a simple test we have written for our add function. You can define more test cases. There are more functions to test the functionality of your functions and classes, but this is really simple stuff I want to show right now. Now in order to run your test, what you need to do is you just need to go to your add test.java, which is our JUnit test case, right click on it, and then debug as JUnit test. Okay, so right click and debug as JUnit test, and what are the source file you want to add in it, you can leave them as default. Click OK, and now it shows the result here in green line here, and it says 0 error 0 failure. So that means our unit test has passed, which we have written for the add function in my JUnit class, right? Now let's define some unexpected result. For example, we are expecting 301, and the addition of this is 300. So this test should fail, right? So once again, we are going to go to our add test.java and right click and debug as JUnit. Okay, and now your test fails because the result is 300 and we are expecting 301. so obviously the test will fail, right? Now let's define a second test for our second class or second function in the class. So just go to your project, new JUnit test, and then concat test, for example. Click finish, and in here you can change the name of your function as concat test. Okay, and we will delete this, and for now let's copy the same code from the earlier test and paste it here, and we are just going to change this result here. Now we are testing concatenation function which returns string, and this will be JUnit dot concat, and we will pass two strings here, for example hello world. Okay, and as a result we are expecting hello world. This is case we have defined. This is the case we have defined for our concatenate function, right? Now let's try and run our second test case. I forgot to add this semicolon here. Once again, right click your project, debug as JUnit test. Okay, and our test passes. Okay, now let's create a test suite for our two tests. So we have written two tests for our two functions, and now you can define a test suite for all your tests, right? So right click on your project, go to new, and in here go to other, and in here you will be able to see a category called Java, and inside this Java category there is a category called JUnit, and in here just choose this JUnit test suite. Click next, and here we are choosing a source folder, and the name of your suite is all test, for example, and then you can even choose your package name, for example programming knowledge, and in here you can choose your test. So we are going to add both the classes add test and concatenate test for this suite, and click finish. So it has created a test suite for us with both the test classes, add test and concatenate test class. Okay, now you can run this all test.java file, right click, debug as JUnit test, and it runs your Java suite, test suite, JUnit test suite, and in here it says both test passes, and you can see both are green here. So in this way you can create a simple JUnit test for your Java program. I hope you have enjoyed this video. Please rate, comment, subscribe, and bye for now.